If you can't stop thinking about the person who hurt you, just take a breath and stay with me for a moment. Heartbreak does something strange to us. It changes the way we see ourselves, the way we think, the way we breathe. And if you're here for part 2, it tells me one thing right away. You're still hurting, but you're also still trying. And that alone makes me proud of you, because a lot of people shut down when they're hurting. You didn't. You're here. You're searching. You want to understand your heart. That already puts you on the right path. You know, people think heartbreak is all about the person who left, but a big part of it is actually about you trying to make sense of yourself again. You start wondering, was I important? Did I matter? Was any of it real? And those questions can take over your mind. They show up in the morning, at night, when you're driving, when you're trying to focus. The thoughts don't ask permission, they just walk in. Let me tell you something gently. Nothing is wrong with you for thinking like that. You cared, you gave, you were invested. Of course your heart is reacting. It means you loved. And if you loved deeply, it's normal to feel deeply now. A lot of people feel embarrassed by how much they still miss someone. Don't be. Missing someone doesn't mean you should be with them. It just means there was a piece of your life that felt warm, and losing that warmth hurts. That's human. So let's talk about something important. Something people don't usually admit. You don't just miss the person. You miss who you were when you were with them. You miss the smiles, the comfort, the moments where you felt like someone really saw you. You miss the excitement of getting a message. You miss the feeling of being wanted. Those things don't disappear quietly, they echo. But there's something you may not have realized yet. The version of you that loved so deeply, that came from you. That wasn't something the other person created. They didn't build that part of you. That came from your heart. So it's still there, and it's still yours. And it will wake up again when it's time. Heartbreak also makes you doubt your own instincts. You start thinking, how did I let this happen? Why didn't I walk away sooner? Why did I try so hard? I want to tell you something honestly. You weren't blind. You were hopeful. You weren't foolish. You just wanted connection. You weren't weak. You were open. And being open is not a mistake. It's one of the best things about you. Now let's talk about the thoughts that keep looping, the memories, the old conversations you replay, the tiny moments you zoom in on like they're clues. That's heartbreak trying to negotiate with the past. Your mind keeps going back because the heart hates sudden endings. It wants explanations. It wants closure. It wants a neat story. But real life isn't neat. Real life sometimes ends with loose ends and unanswered questions. And that's why heartbreak feels so heavy. Not because of what happened, but because of what didn't happen. What I want you to understand is this. You don't heal by trying to rewrite the ending. You heal by accepting the truth of what actually happened, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it hurts, even if it's not the ending you wanted. Acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with it. It means you're no longer fighting reality. Let me tell you something simple and honest. When someone truly cares, you don't have to decode anything. You don't have to guess. You don't have to chase. Their efforts feel steady. Their presence feels clear. Their love feels calm. If you had to constantly wonder where you stood, that wasn't love. That was anxiety dressed as hope. Let's go somewhere deeper. One of the hardest parts of heartbreak is that empty feeling inside, that quiet space where this person used to be. And people think that the emptiness means I lost my chance at love. No, that empty space is just waiting to be filled with something better. And most importantly, with yourself. Your own goals, your own growth, your own voice, your own peace. Let me give you something practical to think about. Ask yourself, what did I need from them that I can start giving myself? Maybe you needed attention. Maybe you needed consistency. Maybe you needed someone who made you feel safe. Those are not things only another person can give you. Start giving them to yourself in small ways. A little more kindness, a little more rest, a little more honesty, a little more patience with your own heart. And I want to speak about that temptation, that thing all of us do. Checking their profile, checking if they viewed your story, checking if they're online, checking if they posted something. That is pouring salt on your heart. Not because you're weak, but because it keeps the wound open. Every time you check, you're reattaching yourself to someone who isn't attached back. And I say this with love. You deserve peace. Give yourself a chance to heal by not feeding the pain. I know loneliness is probably the hardest part. It makes everything harder. It makes every moment feel colder. But loneliness is temporary, truly temporary. And it doesn't mean you're unlovable. It means your heart is in a transition. It means you're moving from one chapter to the next. It means you're clearing space for someone who will treat you gently, consistently, and clearly. And if you're thinking, what if they come back? Let me answer that softly. If someone comes back, the question is not whether they returned. The question is who you'll be if they do. Will you be stronger? Will you have higher standards? Will you be willing to say no if they still can't meet your heart where it deserves to be met? The point is not whether they return, it's whether you return to yourself while you're healing. Let me tell you something beautiful about heartbreak. The real turning point happens when you start taking yourself seriously again. When you start imagining a future that has nothing to do with them. When you start dreaming again. When you start caring about your own life again. Heartbreak shrinks your world. Healing starts to grow it back. There will come a morning, and this is always how it happens, where you wake up and the first thing you think about is not them. It'll feel strange, maybe even shocking, but it'll happen, and then it'll happen again and again, and slowly you'll realize your heart is returning home, back to you, back to who you were before the pain, back to someone who deserves real love. Before I close, I want to say this gently. Be patient with yourself, truly. You don't have to get over it in a certain amount of time. You don't have to pretend you're strong. You don't have to hide your pain. You don't have to feel ashamed for caring. Your heart is doing what hearts do, trying to make sense of loss. Let it take its time. And if you're still here with me, if this spoke to you, if you felt understood even a little, I'd love for you to follow me on all platforms. I'm here with you, not with cliches, not with empty advice, but with real support, real honesty, and real guidance to help you find yourself again. You will feel whole again. You will love again. You will wake up one morning and feel light again. This chapter is not your ending. It's part of the shaping of your future, and your future is still bright, brighter than you think. You'll see.